I was expecting that fish to call. I can be a bit more liberal with my opening range, seeing as there's so many fish on the table too. On table 1, with the a6 offsuit in the previous hand, a 200 big blind deep villain opened middle position, and I know nothing about him. You know, it's not a great hand to 3-bet bluff, but especially when he's double stacked. Well, sorry, he's got 200 big blinds. I think maybe he's got a lot more room to push back at me, so my forward equity would have been less. Table 1's interesting. I'm not sure how to get the most value from this guy. He does see bet 100%, and he'll do that out of position from the very small sample size. So I think that's possibly the most value line. That's a big bet. Now I see no reason to raise here because his calling range is only going to be super good heart flushes and arguably sets, so it's definitely just a call. He's overbetting the pot now, which is quite strange. He could have king queen. That's a very small. I think he could have ace queen or ace king most of his range, so I'm still calling. What could this villain have bet 3 streets for? Big bets each street. I just have the feeling that he's got ace queen, ace king is most of his range, and maybe a pocket pair. I don't think a draw's come in. The flush didn't get there. I think I have to call this. I feel like I have to call this, or I might be wrong. Ah, so he played with a set. So I should have respected those 3 streets of value more. I held on too long to my aces then. I still think maybe Okay, what do I think? Flat in the aces. I still think with his 100% c-bet, he would. I mean, you know, that showed that his opening range was loose. He would have folded most of his hands for a 3-bet. He definitely folded that hand. So I still think calling there was the right play. I should have just respected his 3 streets of betting more. Jack 10 from middle position. There's someone that looks slightly aggressive there, but he seems like he only 3-bets from the blinds. Damn it. Could have gone either way there. Might have been arguably safer at this stage to just fold for now until I get a bit more of a read against for what I'm playing against. Ace is hand on table 1. Just thinking about it, I definitely didn't have the read against someone that was fairly competent to call 3 streets. King 10 offsuit in position against the Steelers. It's fine, especially since I've seen him steal before. I'm going to see about, and he won't double barrel. If I raise here, then I'm only going to call by better. Middle position opens. I don't need to 3-bet for value. He's double barreling. Small sample size, I've not seen him do this before. Still got top pair though, I can't give up just yet. Another one. He's betting pretty big. Don't think it's a hand that I can call the river bet with. So I need to fold this. Because he's another one where I don't have a read that is crazy and he looks okay. 2 backdoors, 2 overcards. Small bet, easy call. All those missed. So if he bets again, probably going to fold. However, I've just rivered the absolute nuts. Is it the absolute? Yeah, it is the best card possible. So how do I get value from him? He always bets the river. But it's a small sample size. I think I need to bet maybe something small. Just to get him to call. Like whatever he has. Usually if he has ace high, I might even call thinking this is a bluff. Although the queen does help me. Does help my straight calling range. Which is kind of there from the start. He probably he does make a good fold, but it probably was a good fold regardless of what my hands were. Queen 10 suited. It's not a hand strong enough to call against that seemingly super tight early position range, especially when the big blind, especially when both blinds seem fairly active with their 3-bets. I don't think ace-10 off. Definitely not strong enough to call against this early opening range, and I don't think I'll have enough fold equity for a bluff. I should definitely be weighted in favour of value raises there. Pair of fours. Yeah, I think I'll be okay because these two players to my left don't seem like they raise in position. Seems more of a blind defence. Don't know anything about this guy. He's double stacked. Is 8-9 suited good enough to call? So 20 into 65. It's about 30% I need to place. I'll take it just because I think it's a really good hand if it hits hard. It's a super dry flop. Good for him to see that on. And I have no draws, so I mean, I either make a huge bluff here, I don't have that read, or I fold. I think that's fine. Maybe 9-8 suited calling that is could be argued. Someone that looks fairly consistent is just 3-bet the opening players raise. No, it definitely shouldn't be in there. Two overcards with a reasonable flush draw, medium flush draw, he flatted. If he raises this is an easy bet. If he raises, if he calls, he's definitely got a better hard draw. And if he raises, then I think he's like hit a set, or it's a reasonable board to play a bluff on, but I don't have that read. So yeah, it's definitely. Interesting. Been raised by a fishy short stacker that normally just calls, and that's been flattered by another fishy 80 big blind stack. I'd have to call 50. I need to be right about 25%, 20% of the time here. I'm out of position on one of them, the one who's shown the aggression. But I think for that price, the fact that I've got position on one nearly full stack player, it's multi-way, I'm good to call. And when things like that happen, it's obviously good. He's shown the aggression. I think we need to give him a chance to bet. It's a good bet. He calls. Do I need to raise here? The problem is I might fold some of them out. There's so many more cards come that could work for me. I don't see a reason to raise here because they probably won't call with anything worse. Not that there's anything worse. That's not the best hand out there. I'm going to 3-bet this for value here. It's a bit wider. Do need to put some protection on this now. He's called, he's called. I guess we're going all in. He had the one hand that would beat me. Ah well. I still think I played that correctly. He would have raised there with any heart draw. Okay, so I raised, and it's time to bet. It's quite a draw board. So I have a dry board. So why bet? I knew I was betting there. Didn't fold, he normally folds, and he's not too crazy. He could have any random pair. Flush draws, KX. He's in middle position, he open middle position. And then just flat my raise. I think he's leaning towards KX rather than the random one with a pair. I'm surprised he didn't bet the river. Just think means he's pretty confident what he has. I've got no fold equity. I'm expecting to see 7s or 8s here. King Jack, oh, so okay. So a standard top pair hand. How long's this video been? 20 minutes. I've probably lost about 2 buy-ins already. King 4 suited, nope. I did think about that on the Jack 10 suited hand. I'm still pretty happy with the way that played. One hand in the whole deck. It was a little bit worrying when we got to our, was it 3 flush or 4 flush, but no, still doing okay. This short stacker, I either push them all in or I walk away. Normally he just calls. I've not got the implied as to call, so I either push. I don't think ace jack off is strong enough to push just yet. No, definitely, you know, it's not. The risk to reward ratio just isn't there. So yeah, I'd say don't think it was strong enough to raise. I definitely didn't have any, so I didn't. It wasn't strong enough to raise for value. Didn't have any forward equity, and there was no reason to just call with a speculative hand because his short stack meant that my implied odds were tiny. See, for 20 cents, basically to write about 22% of the time now. This is a good hand to flat. Okay, I'm out of position, but it's a okay suited connector. I think this is very much against the range at the moment. So the opener just checks in the small blind. The button small blind. So I'm going to raise this for value because if he's got any spade draw, he'll stick around. If he's got any overcards, he'll probably stick around. I'm going to raise it to 110 because it's two people. Shit, so I'm out of position. Okay. So maybe that was a little bit too aggressive. I don't mind that play too much though because top kicker when it's a 10 is not a huge hand, so it's I don't mind protecting that value at this stage. This guy seems fairly taggy. This guy seems, so he's aggressive over one street. One's can't classify him as a lag yet. He's definitely a tag. This guy, this him, this. It's not him. Yeah, I think this is definitely a lag. So I openly called. Quite connected. We donks out. Donks out. We've seen him do it before. We've got two overcards. I think let's go on with two overcards. I am in position. Checks now. It's quite interesting. So I think he's actually got a middling pair, or he's hit that. I can probably bluff this queen quite well, I think. It's riskier against on lag, but it looks like he might be a one in don't lag. So yeah, it's definitely an okay spot to bet, I think. Yeah. me just start thinking about player types a bit more. Quite a few active 3-betters here. Yeah, it's a reasonable steal. I know his stats so far says it doesn't. It's a very small sample size. I think King 4 suited is quite playable. These 3-bets. No reason to raise that value. It's a sensible player doing this in position. I think it's a good spot for a 4-bet bluff with a blocker suited. Yeah, I think so. I knew it was there. Yeah, I like this guy betting to me, he's got the initiative. He's a short stacker, so I don't need to get him overly excited just yet. It's a tiny bet. It's a coordinated board. I think I can get him to call and use draws. If he ships it, then I'll probably have to fold. Because $4 is still a lot of money. He could have queen quite easily there, or hopefully he's not got a 9. So by raising this, I'm getting his draws to call, his random pairs to call. So that's a nice value bet. Risky though against a short stacker, because if he ships that on that coordinated board, however, I don't think it's a hand where I can just sit there out of position waiting to find out. Right, I'll stop this video and carry on playing.